Hello and welcome to SquiniCentral. So keeping with what seems to be a tradition, I seem to make a video every Super Bowl Sunday. Usually I'm starting seeds, and I will be starting seeds, but I want to show you seeds that I already started in a different way. Winter sowing, where you plant seeds and actually put them outside, is happening a lot now. So I'm going to show you what I did. So right here, I actually did these, let's see, on the 4th of February, so like 5 days ago. And then we had like no sun. So I had winter sowing. I'm actually believe I'm going to take these into my greenhouse because our weather is just not trying to warm up at all around here this year. But these were planted, water, taped up. And I have some Brussels sprouts, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. In essence, I would have started them like a month earlier, and I just didn't get time. And then right here, I have some tomatoes. So I have like tomatillos, cherry tomatoes, plum tomatoes, and slicing tomatoes in the egg cartons. Now, the reason I did that is because I always find who plants tomatoes and doesn't always get them out of the garden. You will find this also. I find that I will always get volunteer tomato plants. They pop up from being outside all winter long, and they tend to grow better than the plants that I, plant inside, start inside. So I'm trying to see if maybe I winter sow some tomato plants outside. Maybe they'll pop up and be stronger and better than the plants that I'm still going to do some inside. Inside being they'll be in the greenhouse. But I wanted to do some that would actually be outside, and they're not in the elements per se, but they're in the temperatures. In the greenhouse here, I put up, so this little greenhouse is actually going to end up being here all the time in the winter time, but I did not plant, underneath of it, I'm going to have, what am I going to have? Spit it out. Underneath of this, I'm going to have, in this area, I'm going to be planting ginger and turmeric, I believe. Now, ginger and turmeric need to stay warm. They don't like the cold. They're not really meant to be planted here. But I'm going to do it. And I'm going to keep them in the greenhouse, Now, I will probably also provide a little bit of heat, sort of like I do over here behind all the plastic. If you watch one of my other videos, is a lemon tree, a key lime tree, and actually some herbs, which don't need to be protected, but I did because I could actually still use them. And it has a little reptile heater that's connected to this thing that you can't really see the numbers. It says 57 and 60. So it's 57 degrees in there right now. So I may do the similar thing and add a reptile heater to this area as well. Figure out a way to block this up. Again, there's nothing in there right now that really matters, but figure out a way to block the sides up, probably just a piece of board, to help keep this insulated. This is all some rabbit manure that's going to go in here, this whole bed. This is also going to be much higher. It's really low right now. I want to get it all the way up to like the top, as close as I can. So that what's in there will be protected. As long as I keep it moisturized, humidity helps stay warm as well. And here, I actually did start some peppers, and the same way I did the tomatoes and the egg cartons, but I put them in here on a heat mat because peppers will never ever germinate if it's cold. They don't come back like tomatoes do. They just don't come back in the spring like the tomatoes do. There's no volunteer pepper plants usually, in my area at least. I'm also needing to work on this room back here. This is supposed to be my seed starting room. Still has nothing done to it because there's going to be a door that goes from here, right there, back to my garage, which is on the other side of this wall. And so I really haven't invested in doing anything because I'm waiting for that to happen, which will hopefully happen in the next month. And then I have this one table here. I have another top of a table here. I have the bottom of it that I'm going to put on this side. I probably am going to have to break off a piece of this because it's too long and put it up here. So it's table here. I'll put shelves on the wall there. Depending on where this door ends up, a shelf there. Maybe some shelves up here. I don't know because I don't know where this door is going to be. And I'm not sure if I want to just put shelves here or I don't know. I think shelves. but I haven't worked on it. I'll work on it in the spring, and then I also need to make sure that I get this room sealed better. There's cracks there, gaps there. It's really cold in here. It's not going to get heated, but I will have a little heater with me when I work in there. And if I can keep that warm, that would be nice, because then I could actually, if I have to, I could put plants starting in there with grow lights and the heat mats, and it won't be in my bathroom, but it'll be back here, and that'll be better for what my family doesn't want to always see all those plants around the house. I mean, I don't mind, but they do. So I am doing something different today. Let me show you. Okay, so we moved inside. Usually I do this in the garage, but it's too cold now. I don't feel like setting up in the garage right now. And I've already been working in my living room because, well, I can. So what am I doing different? So let me just say, I'm going to address the mess created by this lovely one over here. Kamaria likes to tear up paper and sticks. So that's what all this is. It does get cleaned up, but this is like the weekend trash, and I don't feel like cleaning it up yet. So I'm sorry you're going to see that on the other side of what I'm doing today. But what I'm making are, see if these come back into focus. They have a couple names I've seen. Snails, seed snails, seed sushi, sushi roll, and I made 2 already. This one is a bunch of basil blend, 6 basil blend that I had. So those seeds are in there. I just started them, so there's nothing to show for it yet. Same with this one, but this one I have, I used my markers, and when I roll this out, you'll see how it gets rolled up. But when I roll these out, the markers will be where I planted the seeds. So I planted some borage, COOPWORX, it's different than cilantro, savory, and I think chamomile, it's behind there, chamomile right there. Those take a while to get started and grow, and so I wanted to have them start. They're going to be in this container here where I can put water in, and it can soak up into there. Hopefully I can also do a little bit of top watering if needed. And I'm gonna put this dome on top of them when they're all done. So I'm gonna make a couple more today, and I'm actually gonna take these and put them out into that greenhouse, in the greenhouse where the peppers are, on a heat mat out there. So again, I'm trying to keep stuff out of the because some people don't like that. I just don't understand why. But this is what we're working on. This is the seed starting I'm doing for my Superbowl Sunday. I've already cut this foam. You can use plastic, like old plastic bags. Anything that's going to help retain moisture. I got this because I also want to use it with students, so I figured I might as well just have a roll. It's about as thick. I cut it in half. It's about 3 feet long, probably as long as you needed. I just took it I used my arm length to the middle of my chest. Sorry, my throat all of a sudden. And then I cut that off, then I cut it in half. So now I have 2, and I'm going to turn to snail rolls. I have, and yes, this is not normal for me. I have pre-made seed starting soil. Someone had given me a couple bags, so I'm using it. It's nice and damp. And this is exactly what I make normally. It's peat moss, cocoa core, and vermiculite. And you can see, I don't know if you can see the water. So it is wet because you need it wet to do the next steps. And what you do is you take this, whatever you're using as your seed starting medium, and you put it onto your, whatever this stuff is called. And you spread it out, not too thick. So I try to get it close to the bottom here and close to the top. And I'm going to go all the way. Doesn't need to be really thick, like I said, but I'm going to go all the way from this end. I'm going to leave a little bit of like an inch gap here. And then on the other end, I'm going to leave about 2 inches. Because what will happen is you'll see when you roll it, it actually moves down a little bit. And you don't want it to like push out, and you won't be able to close it up. All right. So I'm just going to add this all the way across. this is where I realized that it would be better if I used two hands and put the camera stand together. So, so I just did that and realized I don't even remember what I'm going to plant. You can use this to start a variety of things, large and small. I'm not going to start anything like squash right now. It's way too early for that. I already did some cabbage and whatnot out there, but I think I might plant some more. I think I might do like cabbage and broccoli in here, maybe Brussels sprouts, those three in here, just in case those winter sowings don't take, because I want to make sure I have them. All this is trial this year, to see what happens, to see what's easier and nicer. And apparently with this snail idea, you don't have to pot up because the roots are growing. They're going to be growing down. And if for some reason you need more soil, you can unroll it, add more soil with fertilizer or maybe on top, if that's like, if they're getting too big and they're not ready, and then roll them suckers back up, and it'll just be a fatter snail roll. So I like the idea of not potting up because I'm really bad at that. That's why I'm trying it this way. But I'm doing it so that it has the heat mat. I'm going to put this in there with, actually I don't need to use a heat mat. So I think I have half the pan on heat mat and half the pan not on heat mat. We'll see how that works. But let me figure out what seeds, let me get my seeds. Okay. Okay, so change my mind. I decided to start with onions. Although I'm really having an ADHD brain fart moment because I feel like I started onions recently, but I don't know where they are or if that was just my imagination. So I've already labeled the sections. Not that I really care what kind of onions grow where, because when they grow, I'm going to use whatever grows. But at least I have an idea. So onions, you get lots of little tiny seeds. And I am not going to hold back on how many I put in here. So, like, as you can see that, I am going to plant all those seeds, wild onions, in this small section. And they are going to be okay with it. And they are going to grow. Here I'm just adding dirt on top of the seeds to cover them. And there we go. We have our snail. And I'm going to place it into this container right here. On the opposite side of the ones that I want to heat up. So I may use a totally different, a separate tray for that, a smaller tray, because those don't need to be heated up. And neither do the cabbage, so I might just use two small trays and put a lid on top of them that way, so at least they're still domed, but they don't need to be heated up. So plans change. When you garden, as you garden, plans change. Gotta be flexible. So that is what I'm doing. I'm going to do another one with my broccoli and my cabbage. I am still going to do that. But when I saw the onions, I was like, I need to make sure I do that first. Because I did start onions in a pot in the bathroom. And then I went away, so they didn't get watered. They started to grow and everything, but they didn't get watered. And then they all died. So that was my fault. So we're doing it this way, humidity dome, keep them moisturized. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So everything will have my attention and I will be taking care of it. So hopefully you are starting some seeds on the Superbowl Sunday or very soon. If you want to try this snail seed method, sushi seed method, whatever you want to call it, give it a try. Let me know how it works for you. I will keep you updated on how this is working for me. Okay, we'll check back in like a week and see if anything sprouted. All right, have a blessed day. See you later. Bye.